Oh my gosh, you've got to try these. They are so good. Hi everybody, welcome back to Marie's Kitchen. I'm so glad you're here. Today we're making apple cinnamon scones in the air fryer. The great thing about these scones is that they are so easy to make. So if you haven't started baking your air fryer yet, these are a great one to start with. Also, if you don't have an air fryer, don't worry, I got you. I'm also going to show you quickly how to make them in your oven as well. All right, let's get started. All right, let's start with the dry ingredients. We'll start with 1 cup all-purpose flour. Next is 2 tablespoons sugar. Then 1.5 teaspoons baking powder. There goes that bird. She is really chatty in the morning. And then 1/4 teaspoon salt. And because these are apple cinnamon scones, we're also gonna add 1/4 teaspoon cinnamon. Now I'll just take a fork and give that a quick whisk. And we'll set this aside and move on to the apple. So for the apple, you want to chop it really finely because this cooks in the air fryer for a short period of time. So you want to have those pieces of apple really small. So what I do is I just cut it into thin strips like this. And then you can take some and cut these into some nice thin strips. And then just cut right down like this. We just need 1/2 cup apple. So we'll throw that in with our dry ingredients and just give that a quick toss. Now for the wet ingredients, it's simply 2/3 cup heavy cream. And most scones, I'm sure if you've seen recipes, have butter that you cut in with your fingers, kind of like in a pie crust. But this is my little hack that is so much easier. It's just so simple. There's enough fat in the heavy cream to make these scones nice and rich and buttery without even adding the butter. So it's just so simple. So to this, we're gonna add 1 teaspoon vanilla. And the great other thing about this recipe is that you can mix it up however you like. I make all different versions of these. If you don't have apples, you can just leave out the apples and do vanilla scones. Or you could do some lemon and do, lemon zest. So lots of ways to mix these up. We'll just pour in our heavy cream and vanilla. And then we'll give this a toss. We're just gonna mix it in so that all the flour is absorbed. I know a lot of you with the air fryer are just cooking for 1 or 2, and the great thing about this recipe is that it makes 8 scones, but they're mini. So it's a great little way to make a little bite for breakfast or snack or something sweet after dinner. And also they're just very mildly sweet, which is also nice. It's just 2 tablespoons sugar, so almost like a biscuit. Okay, there we go. Everything is absorbed. Of course, you don't want to overmix, whenever you're using all-purpose flour. Overmixing it can create more gluten, which you don't want to do. So now I'm just going to put out some flour right on my cutting board, and we're just going to lightly pat this into a nice round circle. You want this circle about 6 inches. And that looks great. I'm going to rinse my hands real quick. Okay, so we have our little circle here, and I guess my knife's probably about 7-inch blade, so this looks about 6 inches. Now what we're gonna do is cut this into wedges. So I just cut right down the middle of the circle like this. And if it's a little sticky, you can rub a little flour on your blade. Oh my gosh, the bird. Then we'll cut it into quarters like that. And then you just cut each quarter into halves, and you get, we'll get 8. So we have 8 wedges. Now we'll just take a little bit of extra heavy cream. Just gonna pour a little in my same measuring cup, and then take a little pastry brush, and we'll just brush that right on the top here like this. What is it about painting that is just so relaxing? I could do this all day. And I do. All right, now we can add a little bit of raw sugar to the top, which just adds a little crunch, a little color. Next, we'll add some cinnamon. And I did get this cinnamon shaker recently because trying to shake cinnamon out of these little jars, it just comes out in a huge you know, just comes out in a glop. So I am enjoying this little shaker. I can put a link to this in the description box. All right, these look great. Now we're gonna move over to the air fryer. For the air fryer, I'm using an Instant Pot Vortex, which is my latest favorite air fryer. It's very powerful and also very quiet. You can barely hear it going, so it's great. It's also really easy to use. I'll show you. We'll just take out the drawer here. Here's the drawer. Now, you can use parchment. They make little parchment pieces that go in the bottom of this, and I bought a big stack of perforated parchment, which would be perfect for this, but I can't find them. I put them somewhere and I have no idea where I put them. So instead, I'm gonna just use a piece of foil. You could also just cut a piece of parchment and throw it in there. I know some people don't like to use foil, and that's totally fine. Either will work. So now we have a little bottom like that in the air fryer. And so the parchment will serve the same purpose. I'm gonna alternate them, one up, one down, to make sure we have plenty of space. Okay, so let me show you what that looks like now. So you see how they're in the air fryer alternated up and down like that? Now we'll put the drawer in the air fryer. So we'll set it to air fry. The temperature is at 350 degrees, and then we'll set it to 12 minutes. My goodness, Gracie, so loud. Really? Then we'll push start. All right, I'll see you back here in a few minutes. See how quiet it is? You can barely hear it. It's so great. This is who has been making all that noise back there. This silly girl. Yes, you're a good girl. Look, Gracie. Say hi to everybody. Look, girl. Who's there? You wanted to come in here, didn't you? Yes, you did. I think you were just bored in there, lonely. This is better. Okay, while those are cooking, we're gonna do another batch, and we'll cook these in the oven. I'm also gonna show you how to mix up the recipe a little bit by using some dried blueberries instead of the apple. So for the dry ingredients, it's 1 cup all-purpose flour. Then we'll add the 2 tablespoons sugar, then 1.5 teaspoons baking powder, and 1/4 teaspoon salt. Give this a quick stir. Now we'll add 1/2 cup of dried blueberries. I've been seeing these more often. They're dried, sweetened blueberries, and they're really delicious. I put them recently in biscotti, and so they're just fun to use. Toss these together. And now for the wet ingredients, we've got our 2/3 cup heavy cream, and I'll go ahead and add my 1 teaspoon vanilla because I love vanilla in everything. Then I'm also gonna add 1/8 teaspoon almond extract. I thought that'd be really tasty with the blueberries. So a little bit of almond. Remember, almond extract, a little goes a long way. So just use a tiny bit there. And give this a little stir here. And then we'll add our wet ingredients to the dry and mix that up like before. If you're enjoying this video, be sure to give it a like. It really means a lot and helps my videos do better and helps my channel do better. So thank you for that. I really appreciate all of you who like and comment and watch. Also, I've recently learned there's a new button called the hype button. So it's also in the same little place where you can hit the like, where you can hit the thumbs up. If you scroll a little over, there's something called the hype button. If you hit the hype button, it can really, really help my channel, like exponentially. Y'all have really given me so much. Now we'll take this. It sounds like our scones are done in the air fryer, so I'll get those in just a second too. I'm just gonna press this out into the 6-inch circle. That's so pretty. All right, we'll cut this in half. Okay, this looks good. I'm gonna set this aside. We'll do the cream and the sugar in just a minute. Let's check our air fryer. Okay, let's open up our drawer. Oh, wow. These look gorgeous. They look so beautiful. We will take out our scones, and I'm gonna set them on a wired rack to dry. They're so warm, I can't wait to try when they smell incredible and they're beautiful. And we are gonna do a little icing on top, so hang tight for that. I'm gonna let them cool a little bit. You don't wanna do the icing quite yet because it'll just melt if they're this hot. So let's do our blueberry ones in the oven, then we'll come back and ice these. So we'll just get a little more heavy cream there in our same cup. Grab our paintbrush here and paint on some heavy cream. Now a little sugar in the raw if you like. Now these will bake on a parchment-lined baking sheet. There we go. Now these go in the oven at 400 degrees. All right, well, those are cooking. We'll make the icing. If you're making icing for just one batch, it's a 1/4 cup of powdered sugar. But since I'm making it for the 2 batches, the blueberry and the apple, I'm going to use 1/2 cup powdered sugar. And for the single batch, it's 1/2 tablespoon. For the double batch, which I'm making, it is 1 tablespoon of milk, or I'm using some 1/2 and 1/2 here. You can put a little bit of vanilla in here or a little bit of almond extract if you want to add more flavor, but it's just such a simple icing. You just mix that up. I'm doing it with a fork here, and you can have it a little on the thicker side for a thicker glazed icing, or you can add a little more milk for a thinner. So this is a nice thickness, you can see. So let's ice the apple scones. Grab those. Now, we'll use a fork and just drizzle that on the scones like this. So easy, be fun to make with kids, grandkids. People can do their own flavor, chocolate chip, blueberry, currant. There we go. There are our apple cinnamon scones. Oh my goodness. Can you believe how easy they were in the air fryer? Look at this. So pretty. And you just let the icing dry and it gets nice and crisp. So you have icing on there. You can pack them up in a box. Okay, I'm gonna try one. Oh my gosh, you've got to try these. They are so good. The apple, the cinnamon, the cream makes it just really rich, and they're nice and light with the baking powder. I love them. I really hope you get to try these. Y'all let me know in the comments if you think you're gonna try them. We'll wait for the blueberry and then we'll wrap up. Thanks so much for watching, and be sure to hit that thumbs up button. Also the subscribe button. I've got lots more videos coming up with easy recipes just like this, and I don't want you to miss any of them. Also, I have tons more air fryer recipes. Just check in my channel. There's all kinds of air fryer videos. So if you're looking to learn how to use your air fryer, definitely check out those videos. I'll put a link to them all in the description box too. Also for the recipe, you can get it in the description box below. I always put them there, as well as on my website, mariesava.com, where you can print them out. All right, let's check these blueberry scones. All right, the blueberry scones are done, and I think I made a mistake. I think I said 400. We actually cooked the ones in the oven at 415 for 16 to 18 minutes. So let me grab those. And wow, they look amazing as well. So pretty, so rustic. Now we'll move these over, and I am gonna have to let them cool before I ice them, but you can use the same exact icing to ice these. Ugh, these look great. My daughter is gonna be so excited when she gets home. She loves scones, it's her favorite. Okay, I gotta try one of the blueberry ones even though it's hot. Aren't these cute? So nice, and with the icing, they'll be beautiful. Okay. I love the touch of almond extract in there, and the blueberries are so good. You wouldn't think dried blueberries would be this good, but they are just so flavorful. I love them. I really hope you get to try both of these. If you do, let me know, leave me a comment. I really love to hear from y'all, and it's also really helpful to everyone else watching if you leave a comment and say, I tried these, I love them, the recipe works, or maybe it doesn't. Leave that comment too, and then I can go back and fix it. So I really do appreciate your comments. I do read all of them, so keep those coming. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you learned that with the right ingredients and the right techniques, making some easy homemade scones is easier than you think. See you next time.